Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons. This is 3.5 to 4 in favor of the Falcons. 37.5 is the total out there. We are getting Taylor Heinicke for the Atlanta Falcons. But with that just coming through, thank goodness we waited till we did. No Drake London for the Falcons in this game. He has been ruled out. And with that, that is a pretty interesting angle here in this one. Jaron Hall going to go for the Vikings in this one after losing Kirk Cousins for the season. Steven, I held my nose and put in a plus 4.5 on the Vikings when it was at 4.5.
Don't blame you.
It was mainly on the thing of this. Obviously, I didn't know the Drake London stuff. I didn't know whatever. This was mainly on the fact that this Falcons offense is just not built to win at margin, and they don't know the identity of this team at all. And now they're going to try to figure out the identity on the fly because they're switching quarterbacks. I mean, you go in and you look in, free plug here, but fantasylife.com, they have this utilization report, and you can go in, you can dig into teams and how they have like run personnel. And also, like, Falcons are all over the freaking place, dude. Like, they don't know whether they want to run where they want to line up Bijan. They don't know how many wide receivers they want to have on the field, where to put Pitts. Like, this is like a work in progress, and now they're going to do the work in progress with a new quarterback. And so defense starting to regress a little bit towards the mean, and I just don't see this team winning in margin. I get the key number of 3 and the key-ish number of 4, so I took the plus 4.5 here on the Vikings.
Let me just start by saying I will never bet Arthur Smith and the Falcons to win by more than a field goal in a game. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. And now you add Drake London out of the mix as if Art Smith's going to throw to him anymore. Any given week, he might only give him 3 targets. So, but I'll just say I understand why you bet the Vikings despite the huge drop at quarterback. And I understand why the market moved from 4.5, 5 to now 3.5, 4s across the board. Makes sense to me. At this point, at this number, I'm not interested in getting involved with Minnesota just because of the complete unknown at quarterback. It seems like it'll be the 5th round rookie Jaron Hall out of BYU. It wouldn't be the first time that Josh Dobbs went to a new team and played the same week he was traded there or signed there. So I guess that's still in the range of outcomes. I do think if you want to back Minnesota, you're getting the better head coach and the better coaching staff, at least offensively with Kevin O'Connell. And I think the Vikings defense has shown steady improvement since the first month of the season. So no bet for me, too many unknowns, but certainly would be Vikings or pass if I'm in some kind of like pick 'em pool where I got to pick every side.
Yeah. Adam, the other thing I guess I could throw in as far as the handicap here, just the Vikings defense, if you actually look over the last month, is played much better, actually. I mean, they're
Stop talking. You're taking my angle.
Go. Shoot.
Last 4 weeks, they are number 5 in non-garbage time EPA allowed on defense. And if you look at the fact that they had a new coordinator who had to adjust to new personnel, who has a volatile system, who tends to blitz a lot, and he has sort of varied the blitz rate by week, I think you see that it's starting to be a thing where it's not just Brian Flores blitzes all the time. It's Brian Flores tailors to game plan blitz. And Taylor Heinicke, I would expect to be a cornerback that he tries to get after a little bit and speed him up, especially when he does not have one of his best receivers available to him. So I am with Matt. I have it at plus 4. I don't have the best of that 4.5, but I also think if you want to play Minnesota money line here, it's fair. You would probably need a little bit more confidence in Jaron Reed than I have, or if it's the sort of thing where maybe Jaron Reed starts and Josh Dobbs comes in at Darren Hall. Why am I?
Here we go again with these new quarterbacks.
That's the thing. Like, we don't know who. It doesn't matter. No one would have caught it anyway.
Yeah, Jaron Hall. Thank you very much. 5th round pick out of BYU. I know who the player is. I just, yeah. Anyway, Minnesota is to me a team that is still going to be live for an NFC playoff spot by the time this is all said and done. They're going to get Justin Jefferson back before too long here, and they're probably going to be starting Josh Dobbs. And the one thing we saw with Josh Dobbs in Arizona is even when they don't win games, they're competitive. So I think this week in particular, though, when you look at the fact that the Atlanta Falcons, as Matt said, don't really have a clear identity on offense, and this Minnesota defense continues to play better, that's the side for me.
They also lost Grady Jarrett. It wasn't Drake London's out, but Grady Jarrett on defense is out, which is one of their better players.
The other thing I want to throw in there, Adam, to kind of piggyback what you're saying, Vikings at DraftKings plus 240 to make the playoffs. The NFC is a dumpster fire as far as like figuring out who's going to get those last couple of playoff spots.
Well, I think it's one spot. I'm pretty safe in saying that one of the NFC East teams will be the 5 and probably Seattle or San Francisco the 6. So I think it's one spot they're chasing, in my opinion. But still,
yeah, I mean, yeah, but still.
But see,
right?
I think to me that plus 240 is too heavy on looking at the schedules in the NFC South, because I think what's going to happen here is ultimately you're going to see New Orleans win that division. I think that has fairly clearly established itself at this point, that is the best team when healthy in the division. And plus 240 means you're going to stack Minnesota up against Atlanta, against Tampa Bay, and against Carolina. And as we're looking at the handicap here this week, we're saying that that's not going to happen. Plus, you factor in the potential injury for Matthew Stafford when it comes to the thumb, and that also takes the Rams and knocks them down a notch. I like that.
Then they better win this game, by the way, and get the tiebreaker over Atlanta. Tiebreaker could be huge here this week.
Yeah, it's the Vikings are not going to lay down. They went and got Dobbs because they think that, like, hey,
right,
we've already won 4 games, so we're not going to get one of the super top picks anyway. So we might as well go ahead and make the playoffs and get some of the extra cash. So that's the way they're going to go about it.